The New York Times found dating for women in New York City is so brutal that some dating events are charging women $100 and men free, and the attendance ratio is 3 to 1 women to men. I have worked at several bars, so establishments that stay open late, and the thing always was the men are the ones that have to be pay to get in, and the women are the ones that you want to lure there, so you want the women to be there for free. And it's interesting that this is in reverse. Well, I'll tell you first off the bat, and it's just a truth, and I'm just being totally honest, how I would look at anyone in a city like New York City, where there's so much to do, there's so many places that you can travel to very easily. If you're paying to go somewhere to date, what that tells me is like you don't have enough hobbies, maybe. Um, it tells me that this is more of a desperate situation. I'm so sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody.
Can someone please tell me why I literally paid to go on dates with men tonight and I didn't get to date a single man? The universe said no. No fucking thank you. I don't want you to do it. I went speed dating tonight and I got grouped in with the group of guys to walk around with, to talk to the women, not date the men. I only got to talk to women tonight. If that's not the biggest sign from the universe saying like, no, like, don't do it. I mean, what the heck? I give up. I'm done. I give up.
Yeah, this is what rejection looks like for women, is that women will never forget the fact that it is easy to get men to sleep with them, but for men to actually take them seriously and be in relationships with them is a whole different story. And I think we're going to start seeing more of this. And ma'am, get rid of the septum ring. Go figure.
I have a genuine question for males that are 25 years old to 40 years old living in the Auckland area. What are some of the reasons that stop you from attending in-person dating events? Is it like an effort thing? Maybe it requires too much effort to prepare and attend, or is it a money thing? Like, what is it that stops you from putting yourself out there? I'd love feedback on that because I'm actually hosting dating events for singles, and I want to know what men's thoughts are on that.
Well, generally, men in the Western world or in developed countries have noticed a pattern once women start gaining a certain level of economic freedom, is that women become more masculine and they say they don't need men, and they also believe that their money entitles them to the top percentage of men. So why would men participate in a game where women are actively seeking to eliminate them? Go figure.
It's Valentine's Day, and 70% of men are choosing to stay single. And I don't even blame them, and this shouldn't be a shock to anybody. Dating in this generation is so impossible, and I can talk about it for literally days. It feels like every single woman in this generation is either a gold digger or a bop or both. And so yeah, a lot of men are saying, we choose to be single, we're not gonna deal with this anymore, and I get it. I wouldn't either. That sounds awful. I just saw someone say something today about how I would rather be single than settle. And yeah, me too. I get it. That's me too. But it's crazy because you'll see women come online and be like, men are so sad and they're so single and they're so alone, but not me. I'm having a good time, just the men are having a bad time. And it's like, girl, be so serious for 2 minutes. Anyway, so happy Valentine's Day to all the singles out there. We see each other. We're right there.
Yeah, you know, when the recorrection finally happens, women are going to realize that they've screwed things up for a generation of other women because they have basically turned men against them. Men generally want to be with women, but because of toxic femininity, men are starting to avoid women. Do you know how much you have to torture a mammal not to want to reproduce? Go figure.
I'm going 365 days without dating apps, so tonight I tried speed dating and it was not a good time. Let's get into it. It was hosted at a winery downtown. You get your name tag. You basically take notes, and if you have a match at the end, they will shoot you an email. Here's the setup. It was very cozy and intimate. The age range for this one was 30 to 49, but I started to panic because everyone looked 70. We also started the event late, which I wasn't a fan of, but it's fine, so I got comfortable. Immediately, a man who looked like Experiment 626 sat down and started explaining to me why he didn't believe in the Me Too movement. This man hates Apple and showed me his cool Android. One guy ranted and raved about Ed Sheeran. Another guy was very adamant that the pandemic was a scam. And lastly, someone was very passionate about New Orleans being the dirtiest place they've ever visited. In a surprising plot twist, despite saying no to everyone, I still ended up with 2 matches, to which I did not respond. This is going to be a long year without the apps.
Female delusion can be studied in universities. Oh, and I think it does get studied in universities. This is why women are the biggest consumers. All women think that they deserve a top-tier man, but they haven't even been in the gym for the past 365 days. Go figure.
Okay, men, black men especially, please answer me this. Why is it that many of y'all refuse to go to curated dating events? I'm talking about events where the vibes are already set, the ambiance is right, the music is good, the drinks are flowing. You're basically guaranteed to meet somebody who's actually interested in you and is serious about dating. Your pretty much set question is it that dating events like this require a certain type of intention and vulnerability, and the patriarchy taught you that pursuing connection with effort somehow makes you less masculine or something? Because the patriarchy told y'all that you're supposed to just stumble into love and not actually prepare for it? Because we see how that's turning out.
I mean, if this is the mind frame of a woman making TikToks about dating, imagine dating this kind of woman. You would never be able to assert your masculine dominance, and she would challenge all your decisions. This is why men do not want to date and be in relationships with these kind of women. Go figure.
What are the typical men like in New York with dating?
Oh God, I mean, dating in New York is atrocious. There's an epidemic of single women and single men because no one wants to get married anytime soon. Women want to settle down and have a life with somebody, and the men just are taking advantage of the fact that they know that they don't have to have kids until like 45.
It's so
like
fucked
they
up.
can.
I hate
It's
that.
so fucked up, and they know it, and they just don't care. So they are fucking around and having fun, and rightfully so, as they should. Like, men should be able to do whatever they want as much as women should be able to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? But like, the problem is that no one is. I don't think people are being honest about this goes back to what we said in the beginning. Like, I just don't think people are honest about what they want. So like, you'll end up getting ghosted or lied to, or something turns into a situationship that you didn't necessarily think was going to be a situationship. It's just, dating in New York is terrible.
Here's the problem. Whenever women say that they want to settle down, it means that they've been dating and sleeping around for the past 10 years. What man in the right mind would want his children to be carried by a woman who's had relations with over 300 men? Pleasing that kind of woman is literally impossible. Here's the thing. Liberal women created this mess, and all women are going to have to suffer from it unless they decide to make a change. Go figure.
I am legitimately shocked about what just happened to me on my first date. I ran home just so I could tell you about it. I haven't been on a first date in months, by the way. It's been probably since May. I meet with this guy from Hinge. We're on a coffee date, which I know coffee dates are up for debate, but my schedule's been crazy. I could not meet him in the evening. So I was like, you know what? Let me squeeze him in. I show up. We do our awkward hi, whatever. And then the barista's kind of looking at us like, are you gonna order? What's going on? He was kind of lingering. He wasn't really I was like, are you gonna order? It was just a little odd already. So I'm gonna order. So I let him know. I need a latte. He orders. And I swear to God, the barista gives the total to him. It's kind of talking to him. It was like, all right, that'll be $13.75. And he was like, these are separate orders. I was like, wait. Is this man not going to pay for my coffee? A $5 coffee. The barista's looking at me. I'm looking at her like, are you fucking serious? This man is not going to pay for your coffee. And on top of that, he talked at me for 45 minutes. I'm looking at my phone trying to be what's the appropriate amount of time to get up and leave, because I'm clearly not into this. Didn't ask me a single question. Didn't pay for my coffee. Was ridiculous. At the end was so nice meeting you. This was so fun. And I'm in what world was that fun? That is next level crazy. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments. Is a coffee date a good strategy? Is it a good date? And also, what the hell is wrong with these men?
It seems like the universe is finally healing from the overinflated female ego. And on top of that, are we just supposed to take her word for everything that she's saying right now? And here's the thing. Women love to boast about the fact that they're strong, independent, and don't need men, but they can't pay for their own coffee. Go figure.
If the man is handsome, educated, has money, but still single, then what could be the problem?
Good men who have been through a lot in past relationships will stay single until they find someone who makes them feel valued, heard, respected, thought of, supported, and loved for who they really are.
As a single woman, I'm getting a little worried when I scroll on this app that like all of the good single men, 30-year-olds and up, or near that range, they are, if they're single, they're staying inside and doing exactly what I would want to do, which is like binge a show and like order and take out. Like, why when I'm scrolling, I'm seeing all these like cute men who look like they have their head on their shoulders. They probably don't. Let's just be fucking real. But they're all like staying inside. Like, what I'm trying to do is text a girlfriend and be like, hey, you know what? Instead of me cuddling into bed and binging all of Real Housewives, let's go out. Because I'm just hoping that one day, like, I meet my husband, like, meet cute randomly. Like, I got to go out and do that, right? I have to, like, actually put myself out there. I have to actually do my makeup and, like, put on a cute outfit and do that, you know? Crazy concept. But I have a fear that all of the good single 30-year-old men are doing the opposite. Hey, get out there. Please. Stop ordering takeout by your fucking self and wait for me to be there with you to do it, okay? Fuck, literally, I don't... Probably gonna run into a douchebag. Pray for me.
You know, dating modern women is the fastest way to double your bills and cut your peace of mind in half. Imagine being able to go out, have a good steak dinner with a good scotch for less than $100. Now, when you add a woman to that equation, it automatically doubles the bill. Outside of the bedroom, women are just expensive and annoying. Go figure.
I'm being dead serious. I'm not even trying to be an asshole at all right now by saying this. I personally have never come across a drop-dead gorgeous man. Like someone who you're just like, oh, damn, he is fine. That doesn't open their mouth and talk and immediately I get the ick. They're either just like not well-spoken, they're straight up fucking dumb, or arrogant. Every gorgeous guy I've met has had a really shitty personality. I really wish I could find a gorgeous, like, fine man who was so emotionally intelligent, who was well-spoken, who had a good personality, who wasn't so full of himself. Where are the gorgeous men at that have a fucking brain? Like, please.
You know, here's the thing. Mating is not a logical process. It's driven by biology and hormones. As long as women are hardwired to get physical access to attractive men based on their physical aesthetic, why would those men need to develop other traits? Go figure.
Ladies, here's the thing. We want men to be husbands. We want the rings and the things. But family, we cannot advocate for marriage without addressing the full picture. The elephant in the room. Women aren't bred to be wives today. Past generations have raised us up to pursue a career. Forget the man. He's an afterthought. Because when the man act up, you have an out. That degree that you can fall back on. And now, family, we have women who have been bred to be more of a husband than a wife. Let's keep it real. What is society teaching us? Look at the propaganda. Look at the social media. We can't continue to come at men for their lack of commitment, but not also state the obvious. There's a shortage of women worth making long-term or lifelong commitments to. We aren't training up wives. We're training up hypersexual, petty, money-hungry, cannot take any accountability, insecure, immature, women that can't even cover a pot, let alone a man. Women with the mentality that anything goes as long as I'm making $1 from it. Hyper-independent, attention-seeking, career-obsessed, not nurturing, selfish, girlfriend at best women. We want men to lock things down. And I agree, men should. But we gotta give them something worth committing to. And our media isn't pushing that agenda. It's keeping us single. So family, ladies, stop buying the lies of culture. That's what's keeping us single. Let us start focusing on becoming the wife that God has created you to be.
Why are so many men refusing to get married? This is an interesting question, and I don't know if men actually are refusing to get married or not, but it could be a few things. It could be that there's misconceptions about what marriage is. We hear a lot about who benefits from marriage. Is there a benefit to marriage? We hear a lot about men who are taken advantage of in the divorce process or feel like they lost something. I also think there's this mindset where you're with someone, but you're wondering if something better is out there. So why would you commit to marriage if you're worried you're going to miss out on something better? What I would say to women in that situation is if your partner doesn't want to marry you and you want to get married, leave, break up. That's going to end with you guys breaking up anyway. And if you're a single man who never wants to get married, let us know why. We're really curious.
You know, have you noticed it's always the men in the wrong when it comes to female commentary? I mean, men don't want to get married because women have stopped becoming wife material. It's simple as that. They have high body counts, tattoos, drinking habits, are naked on social media, and they're generally not agreeable or enjoyable to be around. And the social media virus has taken over their thought process. And at the end of the day, she'll still file for divorce because she isn't happy. Go figure.
What is the point of having a husband if he's not going to add to your life? I was at the airport a week ago and I had overheard these two women. They seemed to be like in their late 30s, maybe early 40s. And one woman goes, "Oh, who's going to pick you up from the airport?" And the lady goes, "Oh, just Dan and the kids, or Dan and the girls." And the other lady's like, "Oh, who's going to pick you up? I don't know, David? Is David coming?" And she's like, "Oh, I couldn't even pay David to pick me up from the airport." Now, I don't know these women. Presumably, they're talking about their husbands. But you couldn't even pay your husband to pick you up from the airport? And she said this so matter-of-factly, so nonchalant. Like, "Oh, yeah, I couldn't even pay him to pick me up from the airport." Okay. Isn't picking people up from the airport an act of love? That man hates you. And she even went on to say, oh, he'd be like, "Oh, did the Uber app stop working?" He hates you. And I was like overhearing this like, Jesus, this is what is out there. These are the lives that some women out here are living. They're married to men that hate them, that picking them up from the airport is too much, is asking the world of them. And again, this is just a conversation I've overheard, but it was sad. I felt, I don't want to say embarrassed for them, but in a way embarrassed for them. Why are you settling for that? Why are you married to a man that at the bare minimum wouldn't even pick you up from the airport and is scoffing at the thought of you even suggesting it? And then would say, "Oh, does the Uber app not work? Did it stop working?" And they laughed about it. Like, "Ha ha ha, silly husbands." Like, that's not funny to me. That's scary.
You see, so here's a problem with modern women. They think that men are here on this planet just to serve them. I mean, what if this man works in construction or has a demanding job which requires him to be in an office or in an environment where he's busy all the time? What if this man pays and provides for her entire lifestyle and makes sure she has the money to do everything that she needs? Unmarried women like this are obsessed with negative scenarios even though they've never happened. Go figure.
If I don't marry her, she could never take any of my shit. Right. You would have a problem with that. Just marry me. Well, you don't trust me? Right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm protecting myself. You just said men should know to protect themselves before they get it. And you're right. If a man doesn't protect himself, it is his fault. Right. I'm not going to marry you because of the divorce rate is mostly initiated because of women. I'm not going to marry. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You know, the problem with modern marriage is that a majority of women marry for happiness and social status, not building family legacy. And what makes it worse, a majority of women also want rich husbands so that they can live in gated communities and drink margaritas all afternoon. They aren't legacy minded. Go figure.
You know, I see why men are staying single because look around. We have women out here bragging about not cooking, not cleaning, not taking care of their home, not being soft, and not being supportive. And then expecting a man to show up as a provider, leader, planner, protector, and lover, while giving him absolutely nothing in return. And yes, I will be the one to say it. A home needs a woman who actually enjoys being a woman. A woman who takes pride in making her home feel warm and peaceful. A woman who loves her man in the same way that she wants to be loved. That is not oppression, that is care. Men are tired of being treated like a walking wallet, tired of disrespect, tired of begging for affection and a little peace. So, they are choosing to stay single, not because they hate women, but because they are looking for a woman that values her role just as much as his. And honestly, I don't blame them, because relationships only work when both people show up and give.
You know, the crazy thing is that women want all the privileges of traditional marriage with 0% of the associated responsibility of being a traditional woman. And the funny thing is that marriage can be seen as a wealth transfer mechanism sponsored by the state. Anytime a woman feels like this marriage no longer works for her, she can file a no-fault divorce and strip her husband of his children and his legacy, which he has worked his entire life to accumulate. Go figure.